Shut up and sit down.
Thanks for stopping by. Episode 28 of No One Asked Us. I surprised Logan, it looked like, a little bit. Scared him a little bit. But we're both here, Logan Lee. I'm Craig Choate. Our Twitter handles are above us now. We've done some rearranging. Twitter handles above. No One Asked Us Pod is our show Twitter handle. Mine is at Craig W. Choate. His is at the Logan Lee. Our Gmail was on that opening slide. No One Asked Us 2021 at gmail.com. Hit us up. Like, share, subscribe, listen, retweet, all of that good stuff. Thank you for listening. For 27 episodes, 28 episodes now. Logan, got a lot to get to this week. We got a pretty loaded rundown. College football is here. We're only a couple days away. It is Monday at about 6 o'clock Eastern time for both of us, 5 o'clock in the Central, where a lot of our listeners probably are, if we're being honest. I'm going to run down our rundown real quick. We got Illini football kicking off. So we're going to do Illini football, some Big Ten stuff. We're going to give our Big Ten power rankings. We're going to try and update those after every week to see who rises and falls throughout the year. Big Ten did announce their COVID rule, what's going to happen if you have to forfeit. And then there are games this week. So we're going to do some kind of college game day style, just a pick 'em this week. One baseball thing we want to hit on, and then some Big Brother. And I got back into 24. So I want to bounce that off Logan for a little bit. Is that your clock ticking?
Yeah, that was a really bad clock. But,
So yeah, a lot of football stuff as we go into the show this week. Logan, did you do anything exciting last week? Because I got some stuff I did
last week. Yeah. Like since we talked last.
Yeah. What'd you do?
Not a ton. It's just kind of been productive around our house, trying to get some things together. It's just kind of been a war zone for the last couple of months now. So we're just slowly starting to get things back together after our bathroom makeover. But other than that, just kind of hanging out. No new movies to speak of. So there was a TV show. I think I might have touched on it last week that I finally got caught up on, The White Lotus on HBO Max. So that was a good chunk of my weekend.
The guy from Survivor wrote that. And Mr. Schneebly from School of Rock.
Mike White. Yes.
Mike White, yeah.
Yes.
I saw he wrote that.
So that was a mini series that I finally got caught up on and finished over the weekend. So that was really about it, other than, just kind of being productive and doing stuff around the house. So probably not nearly as exciting as anything you've done, I'm sure.
Well, before we move on to my weekend, because I did do a lot this week, actually, and it was really fun. Are you going to leave me for Chip and Joanna? Like you're remodeling your house? Like what's going on here?
No, I am not. I haven't even hardly picked up a hammer, man.
Not surprised.
I wish I could do any of that stuff.
I know. I always tell Christy, if I could be good or better at one thing, it would be like doing projects around the house. If you ask me to do anything, I
am not that at all. And I feel really bad about it because Allison's like good enough, to know what she's doing for a lot of the stuff we've done. I mean, we had somebody else do the actual, most of the remodel itself. It's just kind of been picking up pieces after that project was done. Yeah. But all the rest of it, she's been the workhorse with it. I mean, I help in where I can. But no, that is not my strength. I wish I could be Chip Gaines. Like he is honestly like an icon for me. I love watching their show, and honestly, it has nothing to do with the renovation stuff that they actually do. Like I just think Chip and Joe are fun. Yeah. So no, I am not leaving you to become the next Chip Gaines. I can assure you of that. If I was going to leave you for anything, it would be to be like the next Boog Shambi, but I mean, clearly I'm behind the 8 ball on that. So
you guys have never been in the same room. So
it's true. It's true. You don't know that I am not Boog.
Exactly.
So that's a good point.
We watch a lot of Hometown on HGTV. I don't know if you've seen that one.
No, I have. Yep.
Ben and Aaron Napier down in Laurel. We that's our go-to home run.
Laurel, Mississippi.
Yeah. That's our go-to. Actually, a family I know have a daughter. I think she's 14 or 15, and when she was 8, I think, developed an inoperable brain tumor. and they were going somewhere and they were driving through Laurel and they watched that show too. They started watching it when COVID hit. And so the dad, who was a pastor down at a church in Southern Illinois, reached out to Aaron and Ben, and they were like, "Oh, we'd love to have you." And like, they went to the workshop and like they took him out to dinner. Yeah, it was really cool.
That's cool.
Eric Drake, the Drake family down in Southern Illinois. So it was a really cool story. Really cool.
Very cool.
And really cool that Ben and Aaron did that. Not surprised though, because they're like, from everything we see, they're like great people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So my week started Wednesday night. So Louisville was picked to host the Women's Cup, the first ever Women's Cup, which was Racing Louisville FC, which is a brand new women's soccer team here in Louisville, Chicago Red Stars, who are a very good professional women's soccer team, and Louisville hosted Bayern Munich's women's soccer team and Paris Saint-Germain's women's soccer team. So two European powers of soccer all came to Louisville. And so we went Wednesday night to the doubleheader. The two European school teams played, and then the two American school teams, played. So Bayern beat PSG in penalty kicks, and then Louisville beat Chicago in penalty kicks. So that Wednesday night was awesome. It started to rain, so we left a little early. We did leave a little early because it actually rained the whole Louisville game, but the heavy stuff was coming late. So we left and we got home just in time to watch the penalty kicks, which was awesome. So, and then Saturday we didn't go back for the championships, but Louisville ended up beating Bayern in penalty kicks again. So Louisville, in their first year of existence, won this Women's Cup against Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain. If you know anything about soccer, those are like Lionel Messi just went to Paris Saint-Germain men's team. So like superpower. So it was really cool, first of all, that those teams came to Louisville to do it.
Yeah.
And then for Racing Louisville to win, that was really cool. And then Thursday, I went to my first concert since COVID hit, and it was at the Kentucky State Fair. And I don't know if you saw my post, but if you haven't experienced till you've experienced the Kentucky State Fair, there was different people there, man. There was all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was an experience. We saw Josh Turner, who is a big country guy. He's the one with the really low voice. If you don't listen to country music, I thought you might be, but I don't know if all of our listeners audience are. But yeah, so he was good. He's, as I was telling Christy while the concert was going on, he put down his guitar for a sec and just sang into the mic. And she was like, he needs his guitar. I was like, yeah, he's not winning any Entertainer of the Year awards. He's a straight up singer. He's not a great entertainer, but it was a good concert. And it was fun to go to the fair. I mean, get a good corn dog and some funnel cake and all that stuff. The fair is always fun, but Kentucky was even more different than Illinois, if you could imagine.
No, I'm sure. I'm personally a little bummed that I didn't make the drive down to Indianapolis this past week to see the Beach Boys and John Stamos.
Oh yeah,
at the Indianapolis State Fair.
Someone I know
I got a text. I got a text a few days ahead of time that it was happening, and I honestly I really wanted to go just to see them sing "Do Forever," like from Full House. Like that would have been like. I could have died right there had I seen that, but unfortunately I did not make the trip down for that. So, but yeah, I can imagine Kentucky State Fair would probably be something. I can assure you of that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you got to enjoy that. How was the concert experience? Your first one since the days of pre-COVID.
So it was outdoor. It was an outdoor concert.
Right.
And it wasn't like a grandstand. It was just a stage on a parking lot. So like an elevated stage. And then there was a lot of seats. I don't know how many rows, but a ton of rows of seats. And then the seats just stopped at a certain point, and then a ton of room to stand behind the seats. And we got there. The first act was at, I believe, 8. It started. We got there at like 7:30, and we sat kind of closer to the back, like in between the middle and the back on the aisle. And it didn't fill in until about 9. About when Josh Turner started, it started to fill in. There were people in front of us, but no one sat next to us. There was a couple of people behind us that sat. And then about halfway through, we got up and we went and stood in the back away from everyone. So maybe for like a 10-minute period, I was like, all right, there's a lot of people around me. But other than that, I felt fine. I think being outdoor helped that. So,
oh, for sure.
So, and then the last thing I did Friday was hit up some high school football.
You did have a week.
I had a week.
You did have a week.
Yeah. And I was pumped. I loved it. So Trinity High School in Louisville. I don't know if you were familiar. I did not know about Trinity High School until I moved down here. It's about 5 minutes from my house. So it's really close. They are the power high school football program in Kentucky. They've won 27 state championships. They won it last year. I think they've won 7 of the last 8 or something like that. They're like Rochester, but they're private down here. So their number 2 team in Kentucky played Carmel, Indiana, just north of Indianapolis, who I saw after the game is the number 2 team in Indiana. It was the NFHS, that streaming website. It was their game of the week, like national game of the week. It was crazy. But Trinity lost 20 of 22 starters from last year's team, and one of the 2 returning got hurt. So they were without 21 of 22 starters from last year's team. And they ended up losing actually by 11. So it must be their good luck charm or something. But just being back in a high school football, like I would call this a stadium. The pictures on my Twitter, like the bleachers at Trinity go from goal line to goal line and like 20 rows up, like with a press box. And then I didn't tweet it, but the other side goes 20 to 20, probably 10, 15 rows up with another press box. Like it is insane. Like I've never seen anything like it. I mean,
that's cool.
I've been in Southern and Central Illinois, so you're not going to find that. I mean, there's some. Urbana has a good facility, but it's nothing compared to this. No. It was incredible. A couple of the kids from Carmel have some D1 interest. I looked up after. They were really good. Trinity didn't look very good. It was a 49-38 final. Trinity started the game up 17-0, and then in the last 3 quarters, they had 5 turnovers, 3 fumbles and 2 interceptions. So I think they'll be okay. But yeah, it was fun to get out there and experience some high school football. I know Illinois high school football kicks off this Friday. So
Indiana starting to ramp up. Obviously, you were at a Indiana and Kentucky game, but Indiana started this past week too. So that's been going on around here. Everything's been a little busier. You can tell this time of year.
So let's take a step up. Let's talk about the Illini. College football starts on Saturday.
Is that a step up?
That's a step up.
Okay.
That's a step up.
Just curious.
College football starts on Saturday. Illinois kicks off the entire college football season. Noon Central Time, 1:00 Eastern on Saturday, hosting Nebraska.
No pressure.
On Fox. They got the A+ team, Joe Davis, I think is his name, and Brock Heward calling the game from Memorial Stadium. Are you excited?
Now that you just told me Joe Davis is on the call, that's really exciting. I hadn't seen that. I'm sure you're right. I mean, he's does the Dodgers. Yeah. I mean, I'm just excited. We've talked about it before. I mean, it's a new era of Illinois football. It's been a rough decade or so. My interest has kind of waned quite a bit over the years, but I'm definitely excited to get back into it a little bit more and see where this can go. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. I have no idea what to expect on Saturday. We'll talk about, game by game. And that's definitely one when we're looking at the Illinois schedule. I'm just not sure where to go on that one. But it'll be a nice first test for them to see, what this Illinois team has. And it'll be, all eyes are going to be on the Illini. That's for sure. Yeah. Which is strange to think about, but hey, that's where we're at. So
yeah. Robert Rosenthal was on with WCIA, their weekly Sunday no huddle segment that they do. And one of the things he said was, this is the first game of the season and everyone in the country is so starved of college football because we haven't had college football with fans since 2019. So we've gone almost 2 years without it. So every single college football fan's eyes are going to be on Memorial Stadium in Champaign. And every single college football reporter, beat writer, anyone is going to be tweeting about Illinois, Nebraska. Like when is the last time that happened? Rose Bowl, 2007? That's the last time all eyes were on Illinois football. And it's a clean slate. It really is. Brett Bielema talked today in his weekly Monday press conference that he does throughout the season. He told the media a couple of weeks ago that he was going to release a depth chart the week of the game. And then today he was like, I'm not going to do that. He's like, we've got an advantage because we're a new staff. No one knows what we're going to throw. So he said half of the Big Ten will release one, half won't. And we're going to be one of the half that doesn't, because there's so many unknowns with his program. Is he going to change from what he did in Wisconsin? Is it going to be a lot of the same? All that kind of stuff. He didn't, like he said, he didn't announce a whole lot. He did say Brandon Peters is the starting quarterback. No surprise there. He said you can expect all of the captains to start, no surprise there. It was Doug Kramer, Vidarian Lowe, Blake Hayes, Jake Hansen, Tony Adams, and Owen Carney are the captains. So, they were going to start anyways, but so no surprises from Bielema today. If you want some interesting nuggets from Illinois, follow Illini Stats at Illini Stats on Twitter. Every Monday they tweet out a bunch of interesting stats and notes for the game leading up to, and then after each game they also tweet out stats and notes. So some of the stuff they tweeted out today was Illinois has the most super seniors in all of Power 5 conferences. They have 22 super seniors, which Bielema said they have 41 total seniors, which is astronomical for a program to have 41 seniors. Excuse me. And this is kind of one of the stats that makes me – I don't understand how people can pick Illinois to be 7th in the Big Ten West when you hear these stats. Illinois returns 86% of total starts on defense. The only people that started a game last year that aren't on the roster this year are Milo Eifler, Delano Ware, and Nate Hobbs, who Nate Hobbs, by the way, is someone we should probably talk about. He got drafted in the 5th or 6th round by the Raiders, and he is, by stat-wise, he is the 5th best cornerback in the NFL during the preseason. He's balling out. Pro Football Focus tweeted that out this morning. He had another interception Sunday night for the Raiders. So he's taking every opportunity for him, and he's probably going to start for the Raiders. And Illinois also returns 82% of their starts on offense. The only players that started last year that aren't on the roster this year are Kendrick Green and then Josh and Daniel Imatorbhebhe, who Kendrick Green, obviously with the Steelers, who is likely going to be their starting center. So you have so much returning. I just don't understand the whole 7th in the Big Ten. Most returning offensive line starts in the entire country, 193. Alex Palczewski, Doug Kramer, Vidarian Lowe, and I don't remember who the other 2 linemen will be. That's bad research on me. The 193, second most is Minnesota with 180, which is another reason why I'm high on Minnesota this year. And then they also return 10 four-time letter winners, which is second most in the country. So much returning, yet there are still so many unknowns. That's the crazy thing with this Illinois team, because you really can't rely on any of the receivers except Donnie Navarro. He's the only consistent receiver. So I know we've talked about it multiple times, but here we are 4 or 5 days away from kickoff. Has anything stuck out to you or anything changed on your view of the team as a whole heading into Saturday?
No, I don't think so. As I said earlier, I think Saturday is going to be a really good litmus test for what this team is. I think that Nebraska is a team that will definitely open up some eyes for Illinois. But as you said, this isn't exactly a super young team. There's a lot of returning talent and returning starters. So I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag. I just, nothing has changed about my opinion at this point. I'm just really anxious to see what actually happens as the season unfolds.
Yeah.
Because just so much that we just don't know. And I think that's where a lot of this intrigue is, not only for me, but I think probably a lot of Illinois fans.
Yeah. I think what we're actually going to find out this year, and everyone's counter argument to the fact that Illinois has 85% of their starts coming back is, well, it's 85% of your starts from a 2-6 team. So are they really that good?
Yeah.
So I think what we're going to find out this year is Lovey a bad coach, or are these players not as good as we thought they were?
Right.
Or is Brett Bielema a good coach? That's what we're going to find out. Because if Bielema comes in and wins 7, 6, 8 games with this same exact roster that Lovie Smith won 2 with, I think we realize that Lovey's not a good college coach and Brett Bielema is a really good college coach. But if Bielema goes 2-10 or 3-9, then I think we find out, okay, these players aren't very good. That's why the program is where it's at. So that's what we're going to find out this year. So let's dive in. We're going to kind of go game by game. I know it's hard for us to talk on August 24th of a November 27th Northwestern game. It's hard for us to straight up predict that game, but we're going to go through it a little bit here. It's kind of weird because they do start with a Big Ten game. So we are going to start with that one. Nebraska this Saturday, already talked about it, noon Central, 1 Eastern on Fox. Before we talk about it, though, maybe we should talk about what's going on with Nebraska. Mid last week, some point last week, it came out that they're being investigated by the NCAA for wrongly using their analysts and practicing when they weren't allowed to practice or something like that. And they came out, they had a press conference that day saying, yeah, hey, we are being investigated. We're complying with everything the NCAA wants. So what do you think of that?
People breaking rules all over the place. What's new in college football? I don't know. I mean, I think it's obviously it's not good for them, but I just think it's just another one of those things that you just got caught. I mean, I think there's probably more stories like this out there.
Yeah.
That, Nebraska just screwed up somewhere and got caught doing it. I mean, I think that's kind of what it comes down to. So
talk about a rough year for Nebraska. I mean, they single-handedly brought Big Ten football back, and then Illinois crushes them and they tweet out, thanks for bringing college football back. And best tweet Illinois athletics has ever put out. Then they freaking delete it. I'm still mad about that. I talked to some people in athletics about that, and that's not going to go any farther with it. But and
that's
then
how you really feel, Craig.
And then this happens, and I tweeted it when it came out. When Nebraska hired Scott Frost, I thought that was the most surefire head coaching hire in college football, and he has been terrible since he came from UCF. So, I mean, was it him? Realizing that his job's on the line, he's like going to push the limits here, or was he just trying to cheat? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know that it'll have any effect on Saturday's game. There won't be any sanctions come down at this point, but it's just kind of lingering over the program right now, and just another a loss Saturday for Nebraska would really tarnish some of the stuff that Frost has done. So what do you, I mean, Illinois took it to him last year in Nebraska. Or is there going to be a revenge? Is it, what are you thinking for Saturday? The line is Nebraska by 7.
I put this down as an Illinois win. And I'll tell you right now, I don't have very many of those. So I'm not really sure why I think this one is. But I don't know. There's just some sort of positivity that I'm just feeling about it. I think just the new era, I think it'll be a great way to start the Bielema era. Will that continue on? I don't know. But I could see a scenario. I could see Illinois winning this game on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take them. But I don't know that. I'm definitely not super confident on it. If you're giving me confidence points, it'd be low. but I think Illinois has a shot at this. I think, as you said, I think last year was definitely an interesting way for that to go down. I'll take Illinois again. I think they can.
Yeah, I definitely think they can. I think that line it's right there, man. I think it's going to be a 1 touchdown game for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going Nebraska. Everything tells me to go Illinois because, we know what Nebraska has. We've seen Scott Frost teams. They're scouting tape on Nebraska. There's nothing on Illinois because Bielema shut down practice. He's let media in for 15 minutes of camp. Lovey let the media and public in the whole training camp. So people literally know nothing about what Bielema is going to do. So everything lines up with Illinois winning on Saturday. I don't know why. Everything tells me I should have Illinois winning, but I'm going with Nebraska in the opener.
That's probably the smart pick.
Maybe it's because it's too big of a stage for Illinois. I don't know. So for the first time in this show's history, me and Logan disagree on something.
Breaking news.
So what we're going to do now, Illinois schedule is weird. It's not 3 non-conference, then 9 conference, but we got into that first game. We're going to go non-conference now and just kind of do it as a whole. So the September 4th, Illinois hosts UTSA. That's a night game, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern on Big Ten Network. The following week, they're at Virginia, which is a 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern kickoff, which is super weird, on ACC Network. So a bunch of people in Illinois probably don't get that. And then the other non-conference game isn't until October 2nd. They host Charlotte, time and TV to be announced. So of those 3 games, we're just going to lump them together as a whole, not really go individual game. You see 0-3, 1-2, 2-1, 3-0. What do you got?
I have 2-1.
Same.
I have 2-1. I think they'll win the 2 home games against non-Power 5 opponents, and I think they'll lose on the road at Virginia.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
That's it? No, analysis on why you picked that or?
No, I don't know anything about Texas San Antonio. So I'm not going to try and think that I, make people think that I do. No, I don't think they're going to win at Virginia. And I think the other 2 games both being at home, I think those are both very winnable. I think Texas San Antonio will be a nice bounce back after Nebraska. So regardless, I think of what happens this coming week, I think that should be a win for Illinois. Charlotte, I don't know. I could honestly see it going either way, but because it's a home game, I'll take it. So I'll go 2-1 against the non-con.
So UTSA, I don't think you should sleep on.
I wouldn't.
I think a lot of people are going to see that and say, "Oh, this is going to be a Illinois favored by 30." Who is UTSA? That's not going to be the case.
No.
I think the line's probably going to be between 10 and 14.
Is there anybody that Illinois could play against that would have a 30? That have a line of spread?
That's a good question.
No, that's just not.
I mean, probably there's probably someone.
So
they went 7-5 last year, and they made a bowl game, and they have their quarterback back and their running back who ran they were really good last year. Is what I'm.
That's a lot of backbacks.
I know. As I was saying that, returning, I guess I should say, so I don't say
fullback back.
So I don't want people to sleep on UTSA because
never.
Very well could be a loss and lead to a 1-2 non-conference instead of a 2-1. I also have 2-1, a loss at Virginia as well. UTSA, I think, is going to be a less than 14-point game. I think UTSA is going to come in and really want to. Are you raising your hand?
I have a question.
Okay.
What do you think the chances are that Illinois starts 0-2?
17% chance. I don't know.
17. Okay.
Yeah, because I got them losing to Nebraska, and I think it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a game into the fourth quarter probably with UTSA. So,
all right.
Could they beat Virginia? Probably. And then again, Charlotte, I don't know that they have anything impressive. That's the one school I haven't done any research on, but I'm going 2-1 as well. 2-1 as well. So you've got them 3-1 with the non-conference in Nebraska. I've got 2-2 with non-conference in Nebraska. And then they get back into Big Ten play with a Friday night game back at Memorial Stadium on September 17th against Maryland. Mike Loxley returning to Memorial Stadium. He's Maryland's head coach. It's at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, Logan's favorite on FS1. What do you think about 9 o'clock kickoff for you South Bend residents on FS1 against Maryland?
I mean, it's not on a Monday night. That's the issue I have. It's the Monday night 9 o'clock starts. Like Mondays are long enough as it is. Like I don't need to be up till 12 o'clock watching something like that. So Friday nights are fine. Saturday nights are fine. I don't need it on Mondays. You want me to give you a pick for this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm going with Maryland.
Oh, okay.
I don't think this is a win for Illinois.
Okay. I'll go the opposite way. I don't think Maryland's got enough to keep up with Illinois.
Wow. You think they're going to lose to Nebraska and beat Maryland?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
I do. Tua Tagovailoa is not showing up. This is his brother.
No.
So, I got Maryland winning. Or no, okay. I got Illinois beating Maryland on this one. So I got them at 3-2, heading to West Lafayette at Purdue, September 25th. Last time Illinois played at Purdue was a monsoon, and Illinois beat Purdue at Purdue. Purdue has quite a bit coming back. David Bell, but they lost Rondell Moore. Got 2 quarterbacks coming back. George Karlaftis on defense. Impressive. I just don't think Purdue's very good. So I'm going with Illinois at Purdue.
I would really like to wait about 4 weeks before I make this prediction. Just because we have no idea what Illinois is going to have.
That's true.
But as of right now, I know they're bad. I'm taking Purdue.
Okay.
I just don't see it. I don't see it for Illinois.
Okay.
I don't really have a rhyme or reason. I'm just going with my gut here. I'm just going with my gut.
Your gut's never wrong.
No, it's been wrong a lot.
All right. So we're getting into the season now, so we won't go game by game. So we'll just skip ahead to the end of the year. Do you have a final prediction on where this team finishes the year and what bowl game they're going to?
Oh God, bowl game. No.
Well, you got to have them going 6-6 to go to a bowl game, or 7.
Yeah, and I don't.
Or 8-4.
I don't.
Okay. What do you got?
I have them at 5 wins, and I think that might be pushing it. I think it could be a 4-win team, but I have them down for 5 right now. That's just kind of hit or miss on some of those. I think, as I said, I think 4 is probably more likely, but I will say they're a 5-win team. I do not see them getting to 6 wins to get to a bowl game.
So you got them beating Nebraska and 2 non-conferences. I'm assuming you have them beating Rutgers. What's the other Big Ten win you got?
I know we weren't high on them, but I took Northwestern.
Okay.
So we'll see. I mean, Northwestern and Purdue could go either way. I think. Yeah. I think those are probably the closest of all of them.
Yeah.
So I think those are your closest you have to toss ups. But yeah, I just on a whim I took the Northwestern game at the end of the season at home.
Okay. I do have Illinois going 6-6 this year.
6-6.
Yep.
You think this is a bowl team, huh?
Well, I got them going 6-6, but I also have them with a floor of 2-10.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Because
that's possible.
I think as we just talked about, they could definitely lose to UTSA. They could lose to everyone else except for Charlotte and Rutgers. I don't think they're losing to Rutgers at home. So I have a floor of 2-10 and 1-8 in the Big Ten, but I also have a ceiling of 8-4.
8 wins. Oh my goodness. I know that's your ceiling. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was going to ask what the ceiling was. Okay. All right.
I think the only 4 teams that I don't think Illinois has a chance to beat are Wisconsin, Penn State, Minnesota, and Iowa. Wait, no. Yeah, Wisconsin, Penn State, Minnesota, Iowa. Yeah. So other than that, I think every game is winnable, which is why the ceiling is 8-4. And
you think at
basically
Virginia,
splitting the difference.
I know it's a non-con, but you think at Virginia is winnable?
Yeah, I do. Okay. I think.
Okay. I was just asking.
We just don't know.
No, you're right. Illinois. We don't
know. So I'm going based on the fact that Brett Bielema had Wisconsin as a top 10 program in the country. And then he went to Arkansas, to the best conference in football, and averaged 7 wins a season. They ran him out of town. If he does that at Illinois, you're giving him the key to the city. Like, if he's got Illinois in 4 consecutive bowl games, with one of them being not even a New Year's 6, like if one of them is like what's below the, like, I don't know the bowl tiers, but if one of them is like that second level, non-New Year's 6, like,
that'd be great.
They will retire Brett Bielema's coaching shirt or whatever. I don't know what you do for it. Build him a statue. They'll build him a statue.
That'll be great. And I can see it happening. I'm just not sure it starts this year.
Right.
It's kind of where I'll leave it at that. I'm just not sure this year kicks that off. I could be surprised. I mean, I don't think 6 wins is out of the question. Obviously, I picked them for 5. We'll just have to see.
It's such a unique situation, though, that Bielema comes into a program that has 22 super seniors. Like, he's not taking over a program. I get that. So if he's the coach we think he is, I think a 5 or 6 win season is likely, most likely. But I could see an 8 win season, just because the schedule's not super tough.
What would mark a successful first season for Bielema? 6?
I think if
7?
I think if you are 5-6 at that Northwestern game and have a chance to go bowling by beating Northwestern, I think that's a success. Or even, I don't know that a 4-8 season would be a success just because there's so much. But I think that's my goal. If Illinois, if on November 27th, Illinois takes the field against Northwestern with a chance to go to a bowl game, you have to consider this season a success.
Okay.
But on the flip side, I don't think there's any way they make a bowl game next year because they lose, like I said, 41 seniors. 41 seniors, right?
Yeah, something like that.
The whole COVID thing's throwing everything off. I don't know if all 41 of those have to leave or if the actual seniors can come back for their super senior season. I'm not sure. But I don't think next year's team is going to be as good. So my point being, this is your chance to go bowling for the next 2 years. So that's what I'm looking at. That's where I'm at. 6-6 is my prediction, with a floor of 2-10, a ceiling of 8-4. Other Big Ten news. They did announce their COVID rule. If a game is canceled because you have a COVID outbreak, that game's a forfeit. They are not being made up. You get a loss. The other team gets a win. Is that correct?
Yes.
Which is what should have happened last year.
Correct. And if both teams do have outbreaks and are unable to play, then it's just a no contest. But
it was last year.
I was going to bring this up last week because the Missouri Valley made the same announcement about a week or so ago. We had some thoughts about that season last year too, the spring season at least. But yes, that is correct. If a team has an outbreak and can't play, then it is a forfeit, and they will get a loss. So you are correct. I like it. It should have, as you said, should have happened last year. Although I will say last year was nobody really knew what to do with it.
Yeah.
It's really kind of hard to make those decisions in the moment, on the spot. Having a year, a year under their belt to kind of figure things out. It's a little easier to make that call now, I think, than it would have been last fall. Either way, I think it's good. And it's not on our rundown But it does involve the Big Ten. There seems to be a little more buzz about this alliance thing. I don't know if you've heard this. I mean, we talked about it last week, this potential.
We were texting about it.
Pac12, ACC, and Big Ten alliance that seems to be forming. There's still no really formal announcement of any sort, but it sounds like something is happening with those three conferences. From what I understand, from what I heard today and listened to on a couple different shows and podcasts, people were talking about it. It sounds it's more so for those three conferences to not get. They're trying to not let the SEC and ESPN control everything.
Yeah, seems
to be the purpose of this. Now, it might involve a schedule, things. There might, it might guarantee that there's an ACC versus Big Ten, Pac-12, that type of thing might happen. It might guarantee that type of thing. But I think this is more along the lines of they're trying to make sure that the SEC, as it is now with Texas and Oklahoma, plus ESPN, don't control everything. And the other thing I heard too, is that the idea is that they will vote against the playoff expansion.
Yeah.
And wait until ESPN's contract is up, which I believe is 2026.
Yeah.
And then they would revote, because what they're saying now is that they do want to expand, but they want it to be, it sounds like they want to go more like the NFL model, more like 12 to 16 teams, and they want multiple networks to be able to bid on it.
Yeah.
Because then it means there's more money for everybody. If they just start it as it is now, it's all ESPN and the SEC controls all of it, and it's not ideal. So that's why this is happening. Nothing, as I said, has been formally announced about this. We don't really know a lot of the details. I'm not sure they know a lot of the details yet. But we are starting to hear a little bit more about that. So I'm kind of interested to see where that goes. Just because I do think those three conferences need to do something. I feel bad for the Big 12. What's left of the Big 12, I don't really know where any of them stand. I mean, Iowa State is a decent football program. That's kind of on the rise. Kansas is obviously a basketball powerhouse. But other than that conference doesn't really have a ton to offer.
Yeah.
So feel bad for them, but at least the other three power conferences are, going to potentially do something here to make it so that the SEC doesn't control everything about the world of college football.
That COVID rule is kind of blanket for the entire country as well. It's not Big Ten's not an outlier here. Every other conference, if you have an
have they announced that? Has that been the case? I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, pretty much every other conference is, if you have an outbreak,
I'm sure
you're forfeiting. So, and our final football thing, we do want to do Big Ten Power Rankings this year. Just kind of not much to go off of here, so we're just going to fly through those. Let's go 14 up to 1. What do you think?
Sure. Go from bottom to the top.
Bottom to the top. Rutgers is at the bottom for me.
I also have Rutgers at the bottom.
Okay. 13. And we did our predictions last week for the conferences, and my predictions are going to differ from my power rankings.
Yeah, mine are too. And mine don't necessarily reflect what I just said about Illinois' schedule too.
Yeah.
Those aren't necessarily hand in hand, but go on.
So 13, I've got Michigan State.
As do I.
12, I have Illinois.
I have Purdue.
Okay. Differing there. 11 is where I have Purdue.
That's where I have Illinois.
Okay, so we just flip-flop those. Busting it into the top 10, Maryland Terrapins at 10 for me.
I also have Maryland.
Oh my gosh.
I told you, man.
We thought that by doing Big Ten rankings of all 14, then we'd get some differences, but I don't know that we're going to have any. Number 9, is it a purple school?
It is a purple school. Yeah.
Northwestern at 9. Nebraska at 8.
Nebraska at 8.
Oh my gosh. We're I don't even know what to say.
We didn't do this. Like, this is literally just the two of us doing this.
This is the first time. Like, this is the first time we're hearing it. Who do you have at 7?
I have Michigan.
Okay. I have
Michigan.
I have Iowa.
And I think Michigan is an interesting one because I want to think they're going to be higher than that.
Yeah.
But they just haven't really shown that to me.
Yeah.
So I think Michigan could be as high as like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Maybe not 2, maybe like 3 or 4.
Yep.
Or they could be as low as like 7 or 8. I really don't know. The rest of them, I don't feel like there's as much fluidity. But Michigan, I don't know what to say. So I have them right now as 7.
Okay. I went Iowa at 7, Michigan at 6. I'm assuming you went Iowa at 6.
I have Minnesota at 6.
Minnesota at 6. Okay. So Iowa ahead of Minnesota. That's also how you had the Big Ten West shaking out. You had Iowa ahead of Minnesota.
Sounds right, yes.
At 5, I have Minnesota.
And I have Iowa.
Okay. So our top 4 are going to be the same. We got some differing there between 5 and 7. For Indiana.
Yep. Indiana at 4.
Yep. I think the top 3 are pretty obvious as well. Wisconsin 3, Penn State 2, Ohio State 1.
I have Penn State 3, Wisconsin 2.
Oh, okay. You got the Badgers over the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, I was just thinking more in terms of how I think the standings will shake out. And that's kind of what I was going off of at the end of the season in terms of number of wins, number of losses. But either way, I think 2 and 3 are fairly interchangeable.
Okay.
So I could definitely put Penn State at 2. They're probably the better team, but in terms of the division they play in, the schedule they're going to have. So
these might not change too much next week because only 2 of these teams play on Saturday and they play each other. So, but once the season starts shaking out, we might see some movement here. And we're going to do our final college football subject here. We're going to do a little pick 'em. We're going to keep some standings throughout the year and see if me or Logan are better at picking college football games. These are not against the spread. This is just straight up college game day style. Who's going to win the game? I think we're going to try and do every Big Ten game throughout the year, which is a lot in the non-conference. But once it gets down to the conference, it's only 7 games. And then we'll pick a couple others throughout the country to pick for the rest of the weeks. So we're going to start with UConn at Fresno State. There's only like 5 games this week, so not a lot to choose from. But UConn at Fresno State is on Saturday as well. Fresno State is a 27.5-point favorite. Anyway, the Huskies pull this one out on the West Coast.
I will not be taking the underdog. That's all Fresno State.
You asked me what if there was a team that Illinois might be favored by 30, and it might be UConn.
Might be UConn, yeah.
Although they did go to UConn a couple of years ago and almost lost.
Yeah.
So I'm going UConn, or I'm going Fresno State. Not going with the underdog. We're both going Fresno State here. And the only other game I think with a Power 5 school is Hawaii visiting UCLA. Chip Kelly gets a game in week 0. UCLA is 17-point favorite.
Hawaii was fun to watch about 10 years ago. They were one of my
RIP.
Colt Brennan. Yeah. They were really fun to watch. They've not done anything to really sway me one way or the other since then. UCLA wins that one at home.
Yep. I agree. UCLA, Chip Kelly start the year 1-0, beating are they still the Rainbow Warriors? Or did they change their name?
I think they're just the Warriors.
Just the Warriors, yeah. And the game that everyone cares about, Nebraska, 7-point favorite at Illinois. Money line, I think, is actually the interesting number I saw was over-under is 55, which I think this is probably going to go over. I think Illinois Illinois scored 50 points last year, I think. The last 3 years, Illinois has played Nebraska, and the winner has scored 50 points. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like there's a lot of points scored in these 2 games, or these games between these 2 teams. So who you got? We already kind of talked about it.
We did. I'll take Illinois. I know you're going to take Nebraska.
You're going with the block eye?
My head tells me to go with Nebraska. That's probably the smarter pick. They're obviously the favorite. I don't know. There's just something about this game. I just feel like it's going to be a good start to the season for Illinois. As I said, I don't necessarily know that that's going to continue. But I'm going to take the Illini at home in front of a national audience, eating their lunch and they're drinking their beer at 12 o'clock on Saturday.
Okay. I take Nebraska. Like I said, my heart wants so bad to take Illinois, but something is just telling me that it's not going to happen. And Illinois is going to start the year 0-1.
And you're going to be right.
What time should I show up at the tailgate on Saturday?
That's a great question. Are you are you getting there Friday night?
Yeah, that's my plan as of now. I don't have sleeping arrangements in
You should
stone.
probably work on that.
Yeah, but yeah, my plan is to go stay with someone Friday night and then come back Saturday after the game.
So are you gonna have your own tailgate setup and
No.
like invite people? You
No,
should.
no. I'll probably get there a couple hours early. What is it? Noon Central. I'll probably get there like 9 and just kind of meander around the stadium and then go in and chill. I like the pregame stuff in the stadium, and that's the media member coming out at me, watching the team warm up and looking for tidbits. And I like the pregame ceremonies, so I'll go in probably pretty early.
It's been, I hate to admit this, I mean, but I haven't lived there for a long time. It's been so long since I've been to an Illinois tailgate.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Since I've been there for one. I wasn't there for college. I was in Carbondale, and then I've been up here. It's been a long time. So I could definitely, I would definitely like to get back and do that sometime soon. But yeah, I'm sure you'll get there plenty early, and you'll probably try to sneak up to the press box to get your custard cup or whatever, your breakfast that they're going to serve you.
If any of my media friends are listening to this,
I don't know if your No One Asked Us media passes. Did you try to get like a media pass? Did you use your podcast?
No chance.
Like, hey,
no, I did not.
But we have listeners.
If any of my media friends are listening, any of you guys are listening, I would love you forever if you could bring me down a custard cup, Jarlene's custard cup to the bleachers.
They are open always. Like after the game. I mean, you could still get your own.
That's true.
As opposed to
point. Support
bribing somebody else to bring it for you.
That's true. All right, we've talked about college football for like 45 minutes here. One baseball note, since we are big baseball fans, congrats to Miguel Cabrera joining the 500 home run club. I believe I saw he's the 28th member of that club. Hall of Famer, no doubt, first ballot, one of the best hitters of our era. What do you think of Miggy getting the big 500?
It's a heck of a milestone. He's had a great career, a long career. Just hits, man. He just hits.
Yeah.
That's all he's done. Was a decent fielder at one point in his career, but he's just hit. Mm-hmm. And he's going to keep hitting, and he'll probably play for another couple years. Don't know that he's going to break any records, but he's definitely a surefire Hall of Famer.
You think he plays?
I do want to ask you though.
He's 38.
I could see him playing maybe one more. I don't know. A couple more is probably a stretch. I could see him playing another year. Maybe not. Maybe he gets to 500 and he's done. Let me ask you this, without getting into an argument about he who shall not be named, who are the active surefire, if I retired today, I'm in the Hall of Fame. You got any for sure names? I mean, I can think of a couple off the top of my head.
Miggy, for sure.
Yeah. I think Mickey and your boy Albert are the Albert. Main two. I mean, is Mike Trout there? Is he, if Mike Trout retired today, is he a Hall of Famer?
I don't think if he retired today, I don't think so. I think he needs some playoff success. I think
Kershaw.
Yeah.
If Kershaw retired today.
Yeah.
Zach Greinke, I think he's still pitching.
Is Andrew McCutchen?
Scherzer. I don't.
He won MVP.
I don't know if he's a surefire Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like the two main ones that, I mean, it's really Pujols and Miggy. I mean, I think they're the two main ones. Yes, there's some of those pitchers. I think Kershaw's made a case. Scherzer's made a case. Verlander, is he still pitching? Is he still active?
Yeah, he's hurt.
I don't know. Greinke, I think all those guys are pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Posey and Yachty, Votto. I think those guys are all making a case at the back end of their career.
Votto's really helping himself this year.
Votto's having a great second half of the season. It was just interesting. I just thought about that.
So who do you think is the next to 500 home runs? Does Nelson Cruz get there?
I hadn't even looked at this. Let me look at this real quick.
I got it pulled up. Nelson Cruz has 443.
How old is he?
40.
No.
Robinson Cano is 38 at 334.
No.
Giancarlo Stanton is 31 at 332.
If he can stay healthy, yeah, but he can't stay healthy long enough to hit that many home runs.
Justin Upton, wow. Justin Upton's at 324. Joey Votto's at 323. Mike Trout is at 310 at 29 years old.
Mike Trout will get there, I would assume. I mean, obviously, injuries can derail careers. We saw that with Griffey. I mean, Griffey still got there, but Mike Trout just needs to get out of LA. He needs to, well, not necessarily out of LA, or they need to help him. one of the two.
Yeah. It blows my mind that Arenado's not going to get there. You think he gets there? He's at 260.
No, I don't.
Old.
No, he doesn't get there. I don't.
That's insane. He played 8 years in Colorado.
To if it blows my mind, but yeah. Was he like? I mean, how many home runs was he putting up a season though?
Between 30 and 35. I don't know if he ever hit 40.
I mean, you got to hit 40 a few times to get to 500. Yeah. I mean, if you're steadily. I looked up. Okay, I have it here. So he did. I mean, he had 42, 41, and a 38. So yeah, I mean, he put up good numbers and a 37. So
I think
a 41.
2020 is gonna ruin some people's stat.
No, that's
stat
definitely
lines.
That's definitely gonna hurt. You bring up a good point about Nolan. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he could get there, but probably not.
No, I don't think so. So
I don't know. I think it'd probably be Trout would be the answer.
Yeah, I think you're right. Which it's not going to happen for a long while. Probably. Yep. So yeah, that's about all the baseball we got. We don't want to talk about either of our teams. So we're going to move on to we're going to go Big Brother now. Another week in the books.
Let's
see, what was it? Kyland was HOH last week. He nominated Claire and Derek F. As a pawn. And then there was a new power unleashed. I forgot what it was called. What was it called?
High Roller Room.
The High Roller Room
was the room that they're in.
Yeah.
I don't remember the particular thing.
There was a power unleashed. Kyland won the power, which allowed him to bet on someone to win the veto, and he would also get a veto. And then he bet on Alyssa, right?
Correct.
He bet on Alyssa, and Alyssa won. So Alyssa won a veto, the veto. Kyland won a veto, and was it Alyssa or Kyland took Claire down, right?
I think so. I don't remember the order of it, but yeah.
I believe Kyland took Claire down and nominated.
And then Alyssa didn't do anything. And Kyland
nominated Brittany, who ended up going home by a 7-1 vote.
Yes.
So her 5th time on the block in 6 weeks, and she finally goes home.
Felt bad for that girl.
Yeah, felt bad for her, but she I don't know. I probably would be upset too if I got nominated that much, but I'm like, girl, it's a game. You're an easy person to put up, which I don't understand why she was the target, because she wasn't really doing anything, but that's what happened. And then Sarah Beth comes out of nowhere and wins the HOH this week. Holy cow.
Didn't see that coming.
No, not a chance. She's like the last person I wanted to see win the HOH. And she nominated the same exact people that Kylan nominated, and her and Kylan are like this in the house. They're like best friends.
Kylan's running that HOH.
Yeah. So Claire and Derek F go up. High Roller Room opens up again, and only one person plays. Did that surprise you?
Yeah. There's a couple people I think should have played. Derek X should have played, and I think that's going to become very obvious as the week goes on. He's going to learn that he should have played.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the twist being that next week the power is going to cost even more of these BB dollars or whatever they're calling. I mean, people are trying to save their money for it, which I get. I was surprised a couple people didn't play. But yeah, I mean, Alyssa, she did what she had to do, and then it cost her.
So Alyssa played. Alyssa was the only one to play. It was something roulette game, so she won it, obviously, which allowed her to pull someone off the block, which she did with Derek F. Pulled him off the block, but instead of the HOH picking the replacement, there was a roulette wheel that she spun and threw the ball like roulette with everyone's pictures, and whoever the ball landed, that was the nomination. And the nomination ended up being her closest ally since Christian left in Xavier. So it was Claire and Xavier on the block at the end of the episode on Sunday night.
Yes. Correct.
Me and Logan follow some spoilers, so we know what happened or what has happened from then up until now. We are not going to get into that specifically because some of you that watch listen to our show don't watch spoilers and just watches the episodes air, so we're not going to say what happens. But Logan did text me that he had like a hot take or a theory on Big Brother that he was excited to share on the podcast. Is that a spoiler? So can you share it or no?
No, it's not a spoiler. It's just it's something that's becoming more and more of an issue, I think. Listen, I'm obviously a fan of this show. I've been watching it now I haven't been watching it since the beginning. I've been watching it since about season 12. So about 10 or so years I've been watching Big Brother. I enjoy it. I love the strategy behind it. And I understand the strategy behind this particular thing. But I think it's time to get rid of it. I'm over backdoors. I think that it is costing players, good players, it's costing them the game for no reason at all.
So you want to get rid of the veto competition?
No, I think, and I've thought about this before the last couple of years, probably, and I've seen other people talk about it. So this is not an original take by me. I'm not like saying this is my thought. It's really not. I mean, I have thought about it, but I also seen other people talk about it. I think they should let everybody play in the veto, or everybody that wants to play in the veto, or something along those lines. But by just allowing 6 people to play, listen, as I said, I understand the strategy behind it, and I understand that it's a big part of the game, and backdooring is a huge part of how to get people out sometimes. But when you're doing this to powerful players, I don't want to use the word cowardice, because it is a part of the game and it is a part of the strategy, but that's tough. That sometimes I guess it is the only way to get out good players, but that shouldn't be their fault. Like it's not their fault that they have no ability to play in the competition if it's all done by random draw. And then they're just using that as an opportunity to get people out. I think they need to do something about it. I think it's going to end up costing too many good players over the course of the last few years, especially, a chance at this game. Yeah. I think Christian was a victim of this. That I'm not saying Christian was going to win the game, but he had no control over it. I think that they need. I would honestly say you give them the chance, give them the choice to play in the POV, or you do something like you can play in X amount of POV competitions between this week and this week, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
That way, if they don't play, it's their fault. Or if they ran out of chances to play, it's their fault. But by doing it by random draw, and then these people just are screwed out of luck.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's fair. And as I said, I get that it's a part of the game and it's a part of the strategy, and it's been a part of the game for a long time. I just think it's more and more getting used in cowardice ways, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not like it's impossible to get good players out of the game. You know, if somebody wins HOH, they can't play the next week. So it's not like, that's the only time we can get Christian out of the house. No, that's not necessarily true. But I don't know. As much as I love the drama behind the backdoor, when it comes down to it on, if it's a surprise backdoor, like I get that, like that's fun to watch, but at the same time, I don't feel like it's totally fair for the players.
Yeah. And it's kind of
so
the last couple seasons when I started reading spoilers and stuff, it's kind of put a damper on the back door for me because I know it's coming when I'm watching the episode. So maybe I should stop reading spoilers. And speaking of spoilers, we wanted to do power rankings. We kind of wish we would have started from the beginning of the season, but it's hard for us, like I said, because we know spoilers. So people that we might rank high because we think they're going to win, we find out are probably going to go home the week before this episode airs. So we're not going to do power rankings. We're just going to give like a male house guest of the week and a female house guest of the week and like an X factor or someone that might make a difference here coming up. So who's your male house guest of this previous week that ended, I guess, with Noms last Sunday night?
I guess it's kind of a cheap answer just because he was the HOH, but it was Kylan.
Yeah.
I think Kylan winning HOH, then Kylan winning POV, and then Sarah Beth winning the following HOH, which ultimately is Kylan controlling the HOH. I don't necessarily think Kylan's the best player in the game overall or anything, but I think this past week or so, he's definitely been in the driver's seat, and he's done everything that he can to make things happen that he wants to happen. So for the last week or so, the answer is definitely Kylan.
Yeah, it was weird how he won the HOH because Azah begged him to throw it to her, and then he won it. But then also the veto competition, Otev was this week, and he bet on Alyssa, and he knew that if Alyssa won, that he would also get a veto. So he basically threw it to her to let her win. That way he could also get the veto without winning the veto competition to strengthen his resume. So I agree with you. Kylan had a good week. I think Derek F getting off the block twice, or I guess not going home one week and then getting put up again and pulled off. That was a big week for him. Again, same with Kylan. I don't know that he's the best player in the house, but it was a good week in surviving 2 blocks for him. Who's a female that stuck out, female house guest of the week?
This person hasn't done a ton in the house, but I think it's fascinating that she's continued to slide under the radar. And now the person who was actively trying to get her out of the house a few weeks ago didn't even put her on the block. That's Hannah.
Yeah.
Like Hannah should have been, if this was 2 weeks ago, Sarah Beth's target number 1 was Hannah. And now Kylan seems to have talked her out of that altogether. We don't totally know everything that's going on. So there could be more to it, but she continues to slide under the radar.
Yeah.
And she's not winning much. This Sarah Beth is the very first female player this season to win an HOH.
Yep.
I've been high on Tiffany for the most part. The last couple weeks, I've not loved her as much. I haven't been a huge fan of some of the things she's done.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whose side I was on with that whole thing with her and Derek F in the storage room that they had on Sunday's episode. Claire I like, but she hasn't done a lot lately, and she's been on the block a couple times now. So Hannah. The way she's just kind of slid under the radar. The cookout is obviously controlling this house, and I think Derek X is finally starting to catch on.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Hannah.
Yeah. She's, like you said, she's sliding in the rear. I think she's really smart. I think Claire is also a threat to people. That's why she hasn't done anything, like you said, but I think she just comes off as someone that knows what's going on. So they're worried about her. I probably have to agree with you. I want to say Sarah Beth, but ever since she won the competition, she's had no idea what she wanted to do with the veto. And so she defaulted to doing whatever Kylan wanted her to do. It's so she hasn't had a very good HOH reign. Alyssa hasn't had a bad couple of weeks. I know people aren't targeting her because her only ally left, so she is no threat, but she did win OTEV, although it was thrown to her. And then she did win the roulette in the high roller room. So she's won a couple things now. So those are a couple females. Is X Factor I have written down here is just kind of a whatever. Is there anyone else you want to mention that we haven't yet?
We've talked about just about everybody in the house at this point.
Except for the one that I think might be the worst Big Brother player in the house.
Azah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's not built for this game.
No, she's not. I'm not a fan. And I said this to somebody else. I really want to see the Cookout make it to the final 6. I think that would be very cool. Yeah. I think that would be a great accomplishment for a lot of different reasons. With that being said, I wouldn't care if she was gone before then, but she'll probably skate by because she is not going to win anything. And I don't think she's a threat to anybody. So yeah, she's not doing much. I think, I agree with you. I don't think she's cut out for the game, but she's still there.
Yeah.
And I don't know that she's leaving anytime soon. So we'll have to see.
I would say the X factor is Tiffany and how she handles herself in the coming weeks. Because if the Cookout falls apart, it's because Tiffany is trying to be the boss of the entire. Yeah. She's trying to be the dictator of the Cookout.
I agree,
and people aren't gonna stand up for it.
I agree.
So
I'm with you.
I didn't have that planned. I was just looking at the list.
That was good. Like, that's good.
Yeah,
well done.
That's it. So
well done.
Wednesday, Thursday, new episodes. Sunday, Thursday eviction. Sunday we'll find out noms and HOH, and we'll keep talking about it week by week. Only other entertainment portion is I restarted 24.
Like from the beginning?
Ago. No.
Oh.
No. I was in season 4. I told you season 3 a couple weeks ago, but I was in season 4. And I was probably 3 or 4 episodes in. And I got to episode 7. And Jack is stuck in some building. And I already forgot her name. Who's his Secretary of Defense's daughter in this season? It starts with an A. I can't remember her name.
I don't remember.
But they're stuck in a building. And he makes a phone call. And she's like, who you calling? He's like, the only person I can trust. And then they're in a shootout.
Chloe?
He's in a shootout in like the parking garage of this building. And him and her, Jack and the lady he's with are out of bullets. Like they're out of ammo. They're done. And there's still 2 or 3 of the bad guys in there. And they're walking towards Jack. And all of a sudden you hear just 2 gunshots right in their backs and they fall down. And it's Tony. Tony came back. I was like, whoa.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
So that's
Tony Almeida.
Tony Almeida came back, saved the day. Yeah, saved the day. Then they go to his house and he helps them out, find information and all that stuff. And then a couple episodes later, the CTA director's daughter kills herself in the like she's like schizophrenic or something. Okay, and she kills herself in the CTU. And so she steps aside and they bring in a new head of CTU who was at division, and it was Michelle Dessler. I was like, oh, what is going on?
Okay.
So that's my 24 update.
Yep. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. You're making me want to go back and watch it, but I just haven't done it yet. So maybe one day.
It's the same as it was like 2 months ago, where I'm like, this isn't realistic. There's no way this can all happen in a 24-hour period.
No, the man never goes to the bathroom.
And he never eats.
Never drinks anything. Yeah. Occasionally, maybe you see a drink of water every once in a while, but that's
he gets from one side of LA to the other during a commercial break.
He just has some really long days in his life.
Yeah. He's had 7 24-hour periods that are just insane. Yeah. I think I was looking at like ratings or scores or viewers or something. I think season 5 was the most viewed or highest rated. So I think 4 and 5 were the best. So I think I'm getting into
that might have been around the time that I started watching. It was like season 4 or 5. I don't remember.
And then you went back and rewatched the first.
And then I went back and rewatched all of it. But I didn't jump in until a few seasons in.
Yeah.
When it was originally airing. Back in the days when you had to like have a video cassette to record things, and so we had to do that.
He taped over the home videos with an episode of 24, and
if you didn't record it, then you were screwed. Yep. Well, had to record American Idol. We recorded 24. Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days.
No movies coming out. Shang-Chi's the next one you have written on September 3rd. But did I see something about a Spider-Man trailer leaking? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So this
I'll let you talk a little bit movies.
This Spider-Man thing is just, I think it's kind of ridiculous. Like everybody's just like up in arms. Like they give me this Spider-Man trailer. Give me this Spider-Man trailer. Like I need to see it. Somebody tweeted, what is the most anticipated trailer? And the options were Endgame or Spider-Man No Way Home or whatever it's called. And like so many people voted for Spider-Man. I'm like, are you people nuts? Like, what is wrong with this? Like, yes, I'm certainly excited for this movie. I cannot wait to see the trailer for it. But like, why do people care so much? Like to the point where somebody got a hold of a copy of it, had the trailer playing on a phone, and then recorded the phone from another phone, and then posted that onto TikTok. And then, of course, that leaked everywhere last night. So I haven't watched it yet. I'm not going to watch it until I can actually see the actual, it was like terrible quality. Like it's a video of a video. Like it was, as I said, I haven't watched it. I think the actual trailer will be released tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. This movie is not supposed to come out till Christmas. I mean, it's not like this is a couple months away. I mean, yes, we've gotten a couple Shang-Chi trailers, but that comes out in a couple weeks. We've gotten a couple Eternals trailers, but that comes out in a couple months.
Which I texted you. The Eternals trailer looks awesome.
Like, I'm so excited. Like, I mean, I get that it's a Marvel movie, so it's probably not going to be like a Best Picture nominee, but I mean, Black Panther was, and this is a movie with a stellar cast, directed by the person who just won Best Director and Best Picture at the Oscars last year. Like, I would not be surprised if it's a Best Picture candidate. So that one comes out in November. But yeah, this whole Spider-Man trailer thing on TikTok, like, just get over yourself. Like, watch the real trailer when it comes out. It'll be out tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, because Sony is doing stuff at CinemaCon. So I'm sure that's probably where they're going to debut it tonight. But yeah, that's just ridiculous. So that movie, as I said, doesn't even come out till December. Still, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot of ties into some of this other stuff that's happening in the MCU, but I'm not to the point where I need to be watching it, watching that clip of a video from a video by a video, like on TikTok. Like, I'll wait. I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't need to search that out. So that's that. I did not see any movies this week. There's a few out that I would like to see. I did go see one last week. It's not a big release, and I'm sure you have never heard of it. It's called 9 Days. It actually
it's been
debuted
9 days?
No, not that. It debuted at a festival last year, pre-pandemic. And it just never got released into the theaters until today, or this couple weeks ago or whatever. I was really excited about it. It's kind of like a sci-fi, but not really. I mean, it's like Soul, but for adults, sort of. Although Soul itself was kind of
wasn't Soul for adults.
There's a dog running through my yard.
Hopefully it's not mine.
But it stars. It's not. No, you live 4 hours from me. Winston Duke stars in the movie. It was good. It was really good. I didn't love it like I thought I would, and I think maybe it's because I'm not a deep enough thinker, because I didn't really love Soul either, and so maybe that's why. Maybe I'm just not a deep enough thinker for some of the things that these movies are trying to relay. It was good. I enjoyed it. I just thought I was going to love it more than I did. So that was the movie I saw this week, and yeah. So we'll go with that.
Did you watch The Vault?
No, I did not watch The Vault. I'm sorry.
The Walking Dead did come back Sunday.
Are you a Deadhead?
Yeah. I started it, and I didn't know that. It's one of those that I loved the first 4 or 5 seasons, and then I was just like, all right, I'm gonna continue it to see what happens. But it's so bad. I can't even lie. It's really bad. I'm so far in, I might as well watch the rest of it.
Yeah. I never got into it. So, but the White Lotus is good. If you're looking to kill about 6 hours, it's a miniseries on HBO Max, only 6 episodes. Got a fun cast. It's kind of a satire, dark comedy type of thing.
We started,
yeah.
Just last night, we started the John Wayne Gacy docuseries from Peacock.
Okay.
I didn't realize that the interview that this is based off of, and he was imprisoned at Menard in Chester.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, holy cow. And then where he lived was like 20 minutes from Christie's house in Chicago. So,
oh, wow.
it's like, whoa. So we only watched one episode. We'll probably watch a couple more here tonight, but yeah, we've been going for about an hour 20. So again, we should always say this at the top, but we say it at the end. We'll have these chapters in the descriptions if you want to just jump to one of the chapters and don't listen to us ramble about 24 or Big Brother or Big Ten football if you don't care about Big Ten football. Logan Lee, you have anything else?
No, sir. Shout out to all the listeners out there. I've actually heard from a good amount of people. I heard from a friend who said that he doesn't listen, but his sister listens. So I don't know, Molly, if you're still listening, like, cool, thanks. I don't know why you'd still be listening at this point, but like, it's just funny to hear from people like that. So
yeah,
you know,
we appreciate all the loyal.
Appreciate
listeners.
all of it.
Yeah. Well, keep doing it as long as people keep listening, I guess. All right. Episode 27 in the books. We'll hit you up next
28.
week. Episode 28 in the books. We'll hit you up next week after Illinois football on Saturday. I'm excited. College football is here. We're going to have a lot to talk about for the rest of probably through April, through March or April. We're going to have plenty to talk about. So thanks for listening. Like, share, retweet, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Hit us up. That was episode 28. No One Asked Us.
Bye.